Hello, this is Nicole with Angelic Therapy and Healing. So we are going to be doing something a little different. Instead of doing your typical weekly readings, we're actually going to do a monthly reading for September for each sign. Hopefully that will help kind of dive into some specifics that are happening with you and your situation at this time to get you some more detailed information particular to you. Do keep in mind this is a general reading. It is for a lot of people. So you might find there's only one or two messages for you. When I do these readings, I do pray, prepare, shuffle. I do ask that each of you receive at least one message, but it is good to keep in mind it is for a large audience. And if you find that not much is resonating with your sun sign, go ahead and listen to your moon or your rising. You might be able to get some information from those as well. And if you're still finding there's only a few messages, that's good. That means things aren't too bad. So I would be thankful for that. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Glad to have you here. If you don't know much about me, I survived a bombing in Afghanistan. And at that time, my spiritual gifts were opened up, like blasted open up. I am clairaudient. I hear Jesus and the angels talk to me. I'm a medium. I'm an empath. I am certified by Doreen Virtue. I have a couple certificates by her. I am a quantum touch energy medicine practitioner. For those of you that aren't familiar, it's a healing modality. So like in a 3-hour healing session, and I give all the credit to God, a 3-hour healing session, I've had hundreds of people healed of cancer, multiple sclerosis, even like hip replacements, and down to things that are less severity, like healing broken bones, healing torn tendons, whatever it is, it can be taken care of with quantum touch. So welcome. You can read more about me. I'm not going to go into any more details, but there is an About Me section on my webpage. Feel free to check that out. For those of you that have been here for a while, thank you. Glad to have you continuing to return. Thank you for your subscriptions, your comments. Thanks for sharing these videos. I do love hearing how these are helping you. So even though I can't respond to all of you, continue sending the comments my way. I do love reading them. Now, for those of you that are going to be asking about sessions or readings, I'm still not accepting new clients because I am booked out quite a bit in advance with current clients, but please stay tuned. As soon as my retirement is finalized, I will then open up for new clients. It should be happening in the very, very near future. I will announce it in these readings. So as soon as it's announced, then you will be able to go online and book appointments. So we are going to do a little educational bit, and actually this is going to be the same intro for every single sign. So if you do go and listen to your moon or rising, you can skip past this part. I know a lot of you are going to skip past this anyhow, but I would encourage you to stay because it is going to help you kind of understand what's going on right now with the energy. So as we all know, the energy is extremely intense right now. It has been for most of the year, but especially since we had the eclipse on August 21st. And it's, as you notice, everyone's like, oh, why hasn't it settled down? Because it's starting to ramp up even more. And it's going to continue like this all the way through the end of September. Many of you know that on September 23rd, there is going to be that Revelations 12 sign. If you are not familiar, there are a bunch of videos on YouTube. Just go to watch whichever one you are guided to watch, and you'll be able to get some information on that. The 144,000 should all be sealed by September 23rd. And what you're going to find is things are going to start to ramp up even more than they are. So if you've not done any research yet, there is this Schumann resonance, and it's the Earth's heartbeat. Essentially what it is, the Earth has a frequency, and it's an interplay with our electromagnetic field. Essentially, it's the pulses of energy between the Earth's surface and our ionosphere. And for years and years and years, the Earth's resonance heartbeat was at 7.83 hertz. And what they noticed in 2014 is that it began increasing. And 7.83, if you think of it, it's kind of like an alpha theta, like a dream state. You're very calm, you're very relaxed. Once it gets over 16.5, that's kind of like, actually over 15, it's kind of like an awakened calm. So like an awakening, spiritual awakening. And that is why a number of people have been going through all this awakening stuff. It's been particularly intense for millions of people since 2014, and it's continued to increase. They found that in 2017, it had jumped to over 36 plus hertz. And once you get over 36, it's kind of like there's this nervousness and anxiety in people's brain versus that calm, healthy state. But what that does is that starts to change our DNA. That starts to bring in more of God's light. It pushes out the dark. And we see that every day. We see these things happening, and we're kind of shocked that these things are happening in our world right now. But in order to fill things with more light, with more love, you have to get rid of the dark. And you got to push the dark out so it comes to the surface, so we get to see more of it. Now, on a personal level, what's happening for us is that's forcing all of us to release our own individual darkness, our karma. We have to release those things. We have to learn those lessons. We have to heal those things. That's why we've been under such intense pressure and being pushed, kind of like in a pressure cooker that's about to bubble over, because there's just so many things being pulled from our lives, released from our lives, let go. But that is because we're being filled with more light, more of God's light, love, coming into a state of unconditional love. To come into that state, we can't hold on to the darkness anymore. We can't hold on to people that aren't meant for us. We can't hold on to situations that aren't meant for us. All those things that do not serve us, all those things that are not of love, of unconditional love, and even down to not loving ourselves, that all has to go. Has to be released, has to be healed. Lessons have to be learned, things have to be let go of. And that's prepare us for things that are to come. And it's all this big awakening that we're going through, this ascension process. And there's a lot of ascension symptoms and things that you go through. There's actually a guy that does YouTube videos. I don't often have time to watch his videos, but when I do, he's got really good videos. And I think he posts one per day. But if you want to check him out, I'll put a link to his YouTube channel below. His name is Victor Odo, and he talks about the ascension process. And he gives tips and pointers and things that you can do to ground yourself, to release things, because there's a lot that you can do. I mean, if you're struggling, because a lot of people have been struggling since the 21st. They've had a lot of ailments, conditions, headaches, rashes, all types of things popping up. Tonight, fill your tub, fill it up with some water, put some Epsom salt in there, and soak in the tub for 20 minutes. That will release those physical toxins, that will release those emotional toxins, that will help you get to feeling better. Anytime you feel these things bubble up, that's because you're releasing things. And in order to speed that up, soak in the tub, go see a healer, walk outdoors in nature. You know, for some it's also changing diet, but there's things that you can do to help this, help your system quickly release it. And he does cover those things in his videos. Now, you will find, because a lot of you, again, since the eclipse, you've had just a lot of intense energy, weird things happening with your body, headaches that won't go away. A lot of you are kind of feeling like anxious, like, oh my gosh, something's about to happen. I don't know what's about to happen, but I'm a little anxious. I don't know why. That's because things are going to be continuing to accelerate. Clear up until September 23rd. Now, with the whole ascension process, it's still going to be intense after that, but you will get a bit of a breather. So once we get into October, you get to take a deep breath, kind of calm down a little bit. But it is in preparation for things that are to come. So I'm going to share some information, and don't be worried about this information. It's all good. It's all bringing us to a better place. It's not something to freak out about. But when you read the Bible and you look at that, what it talks about in the Bible, like the rapture, that is true. These things we are going to see in our lifetimes, those of us that are here right now. And again, it's not something to fear. But what we're doing is we're preparing essentially for, if you look at it, it's kind of like the earth is going to be splitting into two. So there will be like this new earth. There's actually some videos out there. Dolores Cannon, she did hypnosis sessions, and people were always talking about this new earth, this split. And many of the things that she shares in her videos are true. Now, not everything, but many things are. So what I would recommend is check out some of her videos. You know, pray, ask that your angels and God and Jesus, ask that they come and they help you discern what is true and what is not. And ask that they help fill in some blanks for you. Because you'll find if you ask that, you will know immediately something that's resonating with you that, yeah, that is true, that is spot on. You'll know what is not, and they will fill in the blanks for you. But you do have to pray and ask that they do that beforehand. But what's described in the Bible. And actually, if you look at, you know, religious texts and look at them, there's actually bits and pieces from different parts, because, you know, Jesus was a Jew. He actually was an Essene. The Essenes are the foundation of Christianity. It kind of all grew and evolved from there. But what it talks about with that, you know, going to be going through the rapture process, things are going to appear that are like that. Now, the severity of things that do occur as we're going through these changes do hinge off of where we are as a collective. You know, we can make things not as bad. We can make things worse. It depends on whether we're coming from a place of love or whether we're coming from a place of fear, where we're all coming from too, and what we're contributing to that. But we are going to get to a state in this split where millions of people are going to disappear. What is going to appear for the people that are on old earth is that, you know, they'll wake up, because it will happen in an instant, in the twinkling of an eye, and just millions of people will be gone. And those that are going to be gone, those are going to be the people that believe. They believe in God. They believe in Jesus. Not to delve too deeply into texts and things to look at in scriptures and stuff, but I encourage all of you as we go through this to do your own research, look at things and see what really truly resonates with your heart and soul. Because what you'll find is you'll learn a lot, and you'll find that these things are going to resonate with you. Because when you watch, like, you know, Dolores Cannon, she did these hypnosis sessions, and they're coined QHHT sessions. When you watch those, you'll find a lot of people, when they talk about the new earth, when they are asked, like, what's required to get to the new earth, they always, you know, they'll say that, you know, they have to believe. They have to believe in God. They have to believe. That's true. Now, when you look at Jesus, when Jesus was here, again, he was born Jewish, he was an Essene, but he loved everyone. It didn't matter the color of your skin. It didn't matter what your religious upbringing was. He traveled around. He loved everyone. He was here as a savior, a Messiah for everyone here on earth. Everyone, all of us, every single one of us. And it's interesting, because when I do healing sessions, and you know, I'm a seer as well. Oftentimes when I'm doing them, I'll see what my clients are physically wearing on the other side of the world while I'm working on them. But when I'm doing these healing sessions, and, you know, it might be my client or someone doing soul contract cancellations with or whatever, the moment that Jesus comes into the scene, because when I'm doing these sessions, Archangel Michael's always there, Archangel Raphael's usually there, but sometimes Jesus will come in during the session, and the moment that he enters, the client, their family members, whomever else is there, all of them will immediately drop to the ground and bow down to him, because he emulates that power. Jesus is power. He is the light. He is the light that will snuff out the darkness. And he truly is. Like, if you look at near-death experiences, when people have a God come in that they meet, that they get to experience, it's always Jesus. And I encourage you to try it for yourself, actually. Because, again, we're all supposed to learn. We're not supposed to just blindly believe things that we're told. You know, we're even taught that, you know, in the biblical texts. We're supposed to learn. We're supposed to discern. We are supposed to dig. We're also supposed to ask, and we will receive the guidance and information. Not to trust what others are giving us, not to be deceived. So many of you, because you are going through this ascension process, many of you are actually under psychic attack right now. There is a spiritual war going on between light and dark. So many of you are being attacked by darker entities. You know that because you're having bad dreams, or, you know, your animals or your kids are just fighting all the time. It's like there's a lot of this anger and hatred in your home. Or maybe you're tripping when you're at the house, and it's kind of like you feel like someone pushed you or shoved you, or you accidentally cut yourself and you're like, I wasn't even doing it. It's almost like something else did it to you. Or maybe in your dreams you're getting red eyes, or you're having a really lot of dark dreams, and they're kind of scary and worrisome. When you're experiencing those things, that's because something dark is in your home. It's very easy to remove those things. Now, you can, in your own power, command that person to leave, that entity to leave. You can call upon any higher power that you want to. You can say in their name for it to leave. What you will find is that entity will not leave. However, when you command it to leave in the name of Jesus and you call on God and Jesus to help you and you command it in the name of Jesus to leave, you'll find that you and your family get instant relief, that it's gone. And that's something I encourage clients to do right away because, you know, I'll talk with clients, they'll be like, oh my gosh, all these bad things are happening and I don't know how to stop it. And when I recommend that they try that, suddenly the dark stuff's gone. Suddenly their kids are getting along. Suddenly their animals are getting along. Suddenly they're not tripping and hurting themselves anymore because there is power in the name of Jesus and it's gone. But you, again, don't have to believe me. Try it yourself. See how it works. Now, I know I've shared in some other videos that last September I was falling asleep and there was this, it was as though someone was standing outside of my bedroom playing a trumpet. Now, it's interesting because in, you know, Jewish, there's different, you know, feasts that they have. They have feasts of trumpets, then these are very important points when you look at things that have happened worldwide that are big, that have been, you know, foretold in our theological religious texts, not just Christianity. They happen on a Jewish feast because that's how God times things. That's how Jesus times things. And so we were around one of the feasts and I hear like someone, it's as though literally standing outside my bedroom window playing a trumpet. And then within a couple days, I was unloading my car, I was outside and all of a sudden I heard this like a horse and it literally blew on my neck and jumped, it made me jump and I was startled. And it was Jesus on this white horse and he told me to not be afraid and he told me that it's time to prepare, it's time to start preparing. Now, if you're familiar, Jesus on a white horse, when he returns on a white horse. So, and you can research that and check that out, but there are things that are about to occur, that are about to happen. So, like some may have noticed, like we've had a lot of people passing away the past 2-3 years. And like people that are young, totally unexpected, and it's been a lot of people. Like, you know, in our lifetimes, we've never seen anything like this until recently. That's going to continue into early 2018. That's because our loved ones, they know what's about to come. They want to witness it from the other side. They don't want to get to experience it with us. They will be with us. They will be helping us. They're just going to be doing it from the other side. They're going to let us have the experience. And that's why there have been so many of them passing on, because they have made that choice to not be on this side for everything. Now, again, it's not something to be afraid of. But what will happen is these people who believe, they will disappear. They'll be on this new earth. Now, that new earth, I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of details about that, but maybe at some point we'll do some down the road when they tell me it's time, we'll do some educational video about that. But essentially, people will be there for about 1,000 years. Eventually, essentially, it's like the returning to Garden of Eden. And over that time, over that 1,000 years, people's bodies will evolve into light bodies. So then it will eventually evolve to the point that, you know, people are there, but they're not physical bodies. So we'll talk about that more later. Simultaneously, around that same time, what will happen is these people will disappear, and that's going to be millions. Because a lot of people think that they're going to be left behind because, you know, the Bible states only 144,000 will be ascending. No, millions of people who are believers, are going to just boop, disappear. Almost at that exact time, immediately following the disappearance within minutes, the 144,000 will ascend. And those that are here on old earth will physically see them ascending. And what they're going to see is they're going to see Jesus on a white horse. They're going to see his army of angels behind him, and they're all on white horses. And those 144,000 that are going to ascend, they are angels incarnated. They're physically in human bodies right now, but they will be ascending. They are part of God's army. And that's going to be kind of like the final throwdown with the dark. But once that's all done, and that's going to be very swift and quick. I mean, if you look at human times, it's going to be something that's going to happen in under an hour. It's going to be very, very fast. And then those 144,000 will meet their families on the new earth. And it will seem like they weren't even gone. It'll seem like, you know, seconds. But it's not anything to fear. You really don't have anything to fear and worry about. I mean, if you look at it, if you're listening to this video, you're preparing to go to New Earth. You're experiencing all these ascension systems. all these ascension symptoms, you're preparing. Your system's changing, your body's changing. You are preparing to make that change, make that leap. That's a beautiful thing. And when you look at it, I mean, it's been a struggle for us because we've had to lose friends, we've had to lose lovers, we've had all these things taken out of our life. But that's because those things aren't good for us. And we're going to a place that's filled with love and bliss and joy and unconditional love. Those things were not of unconditional love, so they're not meant to go with us. That's why we have to let them go. You can even find that you're having very positive experiences. Like maybe you have, I was talking with a friend and, we were having a conversation about how, you can be driving the same path as someone else to work at the same time. And maybe you don't experience any traffic and you don't experience any car accidents. It's like easy breezy. You're hitting every green light. You're like, this day is amazing, best ever. But then you talk to your friend who drove the same time, the same route, and they experienced nothing but stop traffic, red lights, car accidents. It was a horrible drive to work for them. That's because you're starting to see the split. The split's starting to already occur. So some of us are having really good positive experiences. Some of us are not having such good experiences. The split's starting to occur. And that's why now is the time to prepare. It's time to prepare spiritually, it's time to prepare mentally, it's time to prepare physically. And what that really means to us is it's time to stop the distractions. The angels have been talking nonstop in all of our videos the past couple months is stop the distractions, stop the multiple relationships, the rebounds, the drugs, the addictions, the behaviors that aren't, in your highest good. If you're supposed to be, because those of us that have things that we still need to let go of that we're like clinging tightly to, we know what it is that we're being guided to do and let go of. We know that. It is time to do those things that we're being guided to do. So if you're being guided to let go of an ex or a partner or a job or even a diet change, whatever it is that you're being guided to do that. Because so many of us, because the things that we're still holding on to, we're holding on to it out of fear. We are terrified to let that person go, that thing go, because that's been, that's been constant for us. That's been, even though it's not been happy, it's been stability for us. It's been comfort for us. We don't want to venture into the unknown, but that is the one thing that is not meant for us. It's not good for us. We know that. But instead of dealing with that, many of us have turned to other relationships, or we've turned to alcohol, or we've turned to drugs, or we've turned to pornography, or we've turned to anything and everything that will keep us off of doing what we're meant to do, keep us from having those conversations, keep us from ending those ties, keep us from signing the paperwork. But the time has come to do those things because they're trying to bring us back to a state of unconditional love. They're trying to bring us to a state of loving ourselves, loving others. They're bringing us into a state of wholeness. We can't be whole and happy with this baggage we keep lugging around. We have got to let the baggage go because we're drowning. We've been struggling to tread water for a while, and it's drowning us. So we've got to let that dead weight go. And what you will find this weekend, if you happen to listen to this, the first weekend of September, for those of us in the United States, you'll be celebrating Labor Day. But it'll be this weekend all the way through the full moon that we're going to be having this first week of September. It's going to be intense. You're going to feel some of that intensity that you felt around the eclipse. That's because they're hitting us to release those things that don't serve us. So, like maybe you're noticing a repeated theme. Like something keeps happening over and over and over, but you're clinging to something you know you need to let go of. It's time to let go because you can't take that with you. You can't take that person with you. So maybe you started, dating someone else. Maybe there's an ex you're supposed to be letting go of. And, you've not let that ex go because maybe you think it's going to change, or maybe there's money worries, or you're afraid of going into the unknown. Or it could be that like your family relies, and I'm not talking your kids because you still get to take care of your children. You need to keep taking care of your children, but I'm talking about like maybe their family counts on you, their siblings or something, or maybe there's like some community connection with them and you don't want to let them down. But for some reason, if you boil it down though, it's fear. You continue to hold on to them. But maybe you're not talking with them at this point. You've not ended the final ties. So while you're sitting in this place of limbo, knowing that you're to release that ex, and you haven't, not wanting to deal with it, you start jumping into other relationships, and maybe you jump into a rebound relationship, but you're discovering that that rebound is a lot like your ex. You know, maybe they are very manipulative, or maybe they really try and nag you into doing things or push you to do things, or maybe they're trying to push you to quickly commit, or they could be like a me person, self-centered, it's all about them. Or they make you feel bad in order to get you to do something that they want you to do. And you feel kind of like, dang, this is like my ex. I feel like I've jumped back into my ex. That's because it's a repeated pattern. You are seeing the same attributes and characteristics of your ex because you have not released your ex. You have not released that karma. You have not learned that lesson. So it's ramping up. It's ramping up because it's time to let that person go. So this weekend through the full moon, this next week, many people are going to have some huge breakthroughs, some big epiphanies, some ahas. That is meant to help you let go of that fear that is keeping you from taking that leap of faith, that final step of clearing that karma, releasing that person, releasing that situation, because the time has come. And we've been pushed to do this for a couple years, because what you'll find is essentially the way the planets are going to be aligned at this time is the same way they were aligned during the eclipse in 2015. So some of you were being pushed to release the exact same thing or person 2 years ago in August 2015. But what happened is you did not want to let go. You're like, oh, hell no. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to hold on with both hands. I'm going to cling with both legs. I'm going to drag on their leg because I'm not letting them go. This is my plan. I'm sticking to it. I refuse to release it or release them. But you clung on. So for some of you, say it was a love interest. You know, in the fall, heading into the winter of 2015, you decided to, maybe you proposed to them, maybe you remarried them, maybe you married them, maybe you stopped divorce proceedings, or it could be maybe you stayed at that job. But instead of letting go, you went the opposite direction. You clung out of fear. For many of us, the exact same thing we were to release in 2015 is boiling back up. And many of you have seen that same exact situation bubble up recently, and you're really going to see it bubble up this week because it's out of fear that you're clinging on to it or clinging on to them. The time has come. It is time to let them go. It is time to let the situation go. We are really being pushed to take that leap of faith, take that plunge, release the fear, release them. We're also going to be pushed to deal with the things that we keep ignoring. So maybe we don't want to deal with it because it's going to be an uncomfortable conversation or a difficult conversation, or it's going to be, you know, outside of our norm, outside of our comfort zone. So we're like, oh gosh, I just don't want to deal with that. I just can't deal with that right now. I'd rather just keep burying my head in the sand or burying my head in someone else instead of having to deal with it. It's coming to a culmination point where it has to be dealt with. That's why we have been under so much intense pressure now for a couple years, because we have to release it. We have to let it go. We can't go to the new earth. We can't go through this ascension stuff that's about to happen until we release these people, these situations, this karma. If you look at it, an easy way to look at it is to sit down and think, okay, what was I supposed to learn from this person? Because if you look at it, or situation, typically there's something that you were to learn to love yourself unconditionally. Because if we love ourselves unconditionally, we won't allow people to treat us that way. We won't allow them to make us feel as though we are less than. We will establish healthy boundaries. We will not tolerate a job where we are not respected and valued. But we have to love ourselves. But instead of getting so wound up in emotions, if we can separate and look at it, and also pray, God, Jesus, angels, help me. What was I supposed to learn from this? Because as soon as you realize what you were supposed to learn, suddenly you don't have the emotions, you don't have the desire to cling to them anymore. You're like, okay, deuces. Deuces, learned it, don't want to go through this anymore. I'm tired of this crap. And for those of you that have found a rebound that they're the exact same as an ex, you'll be done with them too. Because you're like, no, I deserve better than that. I am worthy of better than that. I am so worthy of so much better. And I've now figured out what I was supposed to learn, and I'm done with it. But the time to do that is now. Because you can't take them with you. And you don't want to be stuck here because you can't release the fear. You can't release those worries. You can't come back to a state of loving yourself unconditionally. That's why we're all being pushed. It's gotten so intense for all of us. But for those of us that have released things, congratulations, because those of you that have released those big karmic things, yeah, the eclipse was still, it was intense for everybody. It was still intense. It might have bothered you a little bit, but you weren't depressed. You weren't having panic attacks. You were just kind of breezing through it. Congratulations. You have released your big lessons, your karma. You are prepared. You are ready. For those of you that are not, use this time to let it go, to sit down, and also to face your emotions, because for some of you, they're saying you don't want to deal with it because you do not want to face your emotions. You don't want to share them. You don't want to acknowledge that you have them. You don't want to open up. You don't want to be honest. You don't want to be honest with yourself. You don't want to be honest with others. This is the time to do that. Let those walls down. Take your mask off. It will be worth it. And for those of you that are fearing the conversations, they're not going to be as difficult as you think they will be. Because if it's meant to be, if it's a conversation to let someone or something go, it's going to go real easy, and you're going to release that instantaneously because you have so much support on the other side. And also on the flip side, if it's a conversation for someone that you're meant to bring into your life or something that you are meant to do, that's going to go really easy too. Because sometimes we beat ourselves up because we think, oh, I really messed that up real bad. That's not going to happen. Don't have those fears. Just, you have an entire team helping you. Ask that they help you. Because again, the thing to keep in mind, our angels cannot help us unless we ask for their help. Because we have free will. The only time they will ever step in without us asking is if it's life or death. If it's not our time to go, they're going to step in and keep us here. But other than that, they will facepalm all day long and wonder, why won't you ask? We can help you. We can make it easier. Just ask for their help. They will make it easy. It'll be a breeze. Because if you had nothing but heartache and trials and tribulations and blocks and headaches this whole time, you know what you're being guided to do. You got this whole team behind you that's going to help you execute it and make those changes. Let them help you. Ask them. They help you do that this week. It'll be worth it. And then you'll find that you're not going to be stuck in this little hell any longer, because for those of you that have clung on, it's been a pretty miserable 2 years. Aren't you ready for things to get better? For things to get better, it's time to stop the distractions, do what you're being guided to do. Because when you've released that person, situation, that karma, you have learned that lesson, you will be back to a state of loving yourself. You will not feel bad about making choices that are good for you. You will not allow someone to control and dominate you. You will set healthy boundaries, and you'll just come back into a state of bliss, of happiness, where life's easy, where you're that person who's driving down the road and you've got every green light and you're listening to your favorite song and you're getting a little dance party going on in your car. You're like, life is so good. Thank you for this. Life is good. To come back to a state of loving life and loving every minute of it and knowing that life is good, you got to do your work. But it's not going to be as hard as you think. So they're there. Let them help you. Do that. Use this time, use this energy, use your team, and just do it already. Get her done. And then get back to your happy, because they're ready to bring you some happy. Okay, so I know that was long, and I'm going to do each of your signs and astrological readings. So just know that however long this is right now, you're just going to get to skip past this on each of them. I will put it at the beginning of each one. And let's go ahead and get started with your monthly astrological readings. Hello, Leo. This is Nicole bringing you your messages. Let's see what's going to be happening for you in September. Now, for those of you that are interested in the cards that I'm using, I'm going to be using a couple of Doreen Virtues decks, her Fairy Tarot cards, as well as her Mary Queen of Angels and Archangel Michael Oracle cards. Also going to be pulling from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. I have prayed over my Sibylas, Lenormands, and my Findicicles. Been recording for a long time. And the Findicicles. So as we need clarifiers, those are ready. And when I prayed and shuffled the cards, I did ask that each of you receives at least one message. Hopefully you'll receive more than that. But let me make sure you can see those. Perfect. Got a little bit of room, move them down. Okay, so let's see what is going to be happening for you in September. What we have is the situation, the foundation. It could also be what led to the situation, what's blocking you, what is unknown, and then what the angels are recommending you do this month. Now, Good news, you have all minor arcana, pip cards. There's no majors here. That does mean that you are empowered. You have the ability to shift this a little bit more so than you would have if there were a bunch of major arcanas here. So that's good news. There's a lot of emotion here though, Leo. Summer is cups, that's emotion. Winter is traditional Toro, that would be swords, that's our thoughts being stuck in our head. And many of you right now, you are stuck in your head, doing a lot of thinking. You have 7 of winter, and this is your situation. And at the bottom it says there is a better choice, not seeing things clearly, running away from the truth. And this is all about reviewing our plans because there are some changes that are necessary. And because sometimes if we're disappointed as time, you know, as we go down time, it becomes a little bit easier to see things clearly that maybe in the heat of the moment, we weren't really seeing clearly. And this card's also about, you know, really seeing someone's clear intentions, seeing who has integrity, who lacks integrity, you know, paying attention to those red flags, listening to our intuition when we're being told that something's off, something's not right, someone is doing us wrong, someone is deceiving us. Taking off the blinders, really seeing that truth, acknowledging that truth, accepting that truth so that we can make a different decision. We can get away from a partnership or relationship that's not wise for us, that's not good for us. It can also speak of not deceiving ourselves because sometimes, you know, we don't want to see that, you know, our partner has lied to us or cheated on us or has deceived us. So what we'll do is we'll just deceive ourselves. We'll like bury our heads in the sand because we just don't want to see it. And in traditional tarot, I mean, this is the card of deception. It's someone's pulling something over on you. They're deceiving you. Their intentions are not pure. And many of you are in a relationship. Yeah, Leo. For those of you, this is love. This is relationship. This has got love emotion all over it. But you're in this relationship and you've tried to stand firm in it. You're really trying to hold on. You're really not wanting to see the faults. You're really wanting to make this work out. You're trying to... You have like a new beginning, a new opportunity with someone. It's someone from your past and you're really trying to make it work. You're trying hard. You're really overlooking all the things that happened because there was some deception. It's not the right relationship for you. So that's why they've been trying to end it. But you're trying to make it work. You're trying to make it work. Now, what you have as the foundation is you have 5 of summer. And at the bottom it says, trust that there is a reason for everything that happens. Remove yourself from the negative emotions of others, focusing on that which frightens or worries you. See how she's kind of like spooked? This always reminds me of that fight or flight, because she just looks like she's frightened, she's terrified. She's looking back, she's got her arm out kind of like protecting her. This is all about, you know, she should be serene, she should be happy, she should be calm, but she's not. She's really focused on the things that worry her, that scare her, that frighten her, that, you know, make her unhappy. She's focused on the negative. This is a card about shifting your perspective. Instead of looking out at things that upset you, worry you, looking at things that you've lost, because this is the crying over spilt milk. In traditional tarot, there's a figure and he has these 2 cups behind him that are upright. But he's facing the past. He's facing the 3 cups that are overturned. And he just can't get over the past. He can't let it go. He can't forgive things. He can't just walk away. It's really about heartache. Many of you have had heartache with this person. Things didn't turn out as you wanted. You're upset about the past. This relationship had come to an end. And you didn't want it to come to an end. You had heartbreak about it. So now that person has come back, which is interesting because typically when we're around eclipse energy, you'll have exes just pop back up. So for some of you, it's an ex that popped back up. but you really did love them. You really cared about them. You've been really trying to overlook things that happened, overlook things that occurred in the past, in order to just give it another go. We're gonna make it work this time. It's gonna work. But you're reminiscing. This is the card that is talking about what is blocking you, and it's 6 of Summer, and at the bottom it says children or childhood, the return of people or romances from your past, remembering events differently in a better or worse light than how they really occurred. You know, these two kids are just chatting. They're in this garden of flowers. You know, because kids, they're joyful. They don't really notice bad things. They don't notice negativity. But it's kind of where you're at. You're at a state where you're just looking at it innocently. You're not seeing what went wrong. You're reminiscing. You've got these memories of all the positive things that are coming up. But you're not seeing things how they really were. You're not seeing the past accurately. Because the reason this relationship came to an end is because there were a lot of things that were going on that weren't good for you. There was deception, there were lies, there were hidden intentions. The person's intentions were not honorable. They were not coming from the right place. It wasn't a solid foundation. But now what's blocking you is you're reminiscing, you're looking back, you're like, oh, but it was so good, it was so happy. It was like being in a field of flowers. You're being encouraged to look at things honestly. Really look at things for how they were, what they were. Remove the sugar coating. Because it wasn't happy, happy, joy, joy. Which is why they're trying to break you free. Because what you're unaware of is you do have a new opportunity, a new offer of love that will come in. Because this is what's unknown. And you have Princess of Summer. Gentle, sensitive, kind, inexperienced. And at the bottom it says a new relationship or emotional experience, invitations to social events, a compassionate friend you can share your concerns with. And this is all, really is about a new beginning in love. You know, the Princess of Summer, she's sensitive, she's loving, she's gentle, she's really all about love. She's all about love, she's all about relationships, she's poetic, she loves to journal, she loves to daydream. She has an open heart. She's very compassionate, you know, but when she looks at things, because she's the princess, she's not the queen yet. So she's very, you know, immature, younger with her emotions. It's like everything has an emotional spin, which keeps her from thinking things through. She just looks at it through, you know, these glossy glasses that are kind of smoky. Not really seeing things, because she just wants some love. Those of you in the situation, you do want love. They're trying to bring you requited love. They're trying to bring you love that you are worthy of. They are going to be bringing you an offer of love, but in order to receive that offer of love, see how her back is turned? You know, to her, this is the future, the past. She's just focused on the past. She has her back turned to the future. So if you can heal your heart, and if you can open up to new love, open up to new opportunities, they will bring you a rewarding, mutually beneficial relationship. Something that will stand the test of time, something that will be long lasting. And they're trying to bring that to you because this isn't it. They have something better. They're trying to bring you something better. Allow them to bring you something better. Because sometimes we just get stuck in our own way. You know, we have expectations for a certain thing, and we are all in committed to it, and that's what we want. But sometimes God has something better in mind for us. And that's the case for you, Leo. Let them bring you something better. You know, if we let go and we let God, more times than not, we are going to have our mind blown with how good this different thing is that's going to be coming in. So this love that you aren't anticipating, you aren't expecting, will blow your mind. But it's in letting this go and opening up to it. Now, as far as what is recommended, the first card you have is Be Strong. And at the bottom it says, I pull myself up and do what needs to be done. And this really is all about strength. It's about taking action, taking swift action to resolve the situation, to deal with this situation. To also remember that you are stronger than what you realize. Some of you don't think that you have the strength to move on. You don't think that you have the strength to let this go. You're just kind of wallowing in sadness and heartbreak and victimhood, and you're just being passive. You're just kind of going with the flow. But you have strength. You have the strength to have those conversations. You have the strength to free yourself from this. And they're encouraging you to step into that strength. And have those conversations. You see, they're kind of like looking at each other. She's kind of giving him that, really? Really? Look. But have those conversations. Have the strength to have those conversations because they're necessary in order to move forward. Now, the next card that you have is co-create. It's number 40. And this really is about creating the life that you desire. You have the ability to create that, manifest that, bring those dreams to fruition. But you also have to remember that we create in every moment of every day with our thoughts, our emotions, our intentions, our actions. So if we are feeling unlovable and we are feeling that we are not worthy of love, like this poor little lonely owl that's all by himself, or this egg that has not been fertilized and has not hatched, well, that's what we'll see. That's what will manifest. So for some of you, you are feeling, because of this situation, you are feeling unworthy of love. You're feeling like you're not going to have a new beginning, that you're not going to have this love that you desire. But that's what you're creating. But the other thing to remember is that we do co-create with God. God, Jesus, the angels, divine, we co-create with them. So sometimes we will try to push and create something that's not meant to be. And we feel like our prayers and such are being totally ignored. But that's because they're trying to create something better for us. They want us to let go of that so that they can bring in something better. They can get us off that tightrope. And for some, you've got these markings, these leopard markings. Like zebras, that their stripes don't change, their markings aren't going to change. This situation is not going to change. It's stagnant. The thing that needs to change is your mindset and the things that you wish to create. And the other thing to remember with the co-creation they're saying is that this relationship, you're like on different pages. You don't want the same thing. Because like if you look at this, so you've got this egg. So say we've got this couple. You got this egg. Oh, you want this egg, this new life. You want this to burst to life. But one of you is looking straight forward. The other one is looking to the past and down. Different pages. You're on different pages. Like one is sad. They're not accepting the wisdom of the experience. They're not accepting that information. Whereas the other one is like deceptive. Deceptive, hiding something. Their intentions aren't pure. How about that? They're spotted. Their intentions are not pure. But those of you in this situation, you know that. Which is also why your heart has been closed off. Because for some of you, if it doesn't work out with this person, you're like, I don't think I can open my heart to anyone else because this hurt. This really hurt, and trying to make it work out, it's just not working out. The other thing that they're encouraging you to do is to do some energy healing, to heal your heart. And to do that this month. At the bottom, there is a prayer, and it says, thank you for sending healing energy to me and through me for my own blessings and for all those around me. Thank you for connecting me to loving and high integrity healers and teachers of energy healing modalities. And you really would benefit this month from getting some energy healing. Now, there's a number of different things that you can do. Obviously, you can call and schedule an appointment with a professional healer, whomever you're guided to. There's a number of them out there, and if you ask, your angels and guides will guide you directly to the person that you need to see. The other thing you can do, you can call on Archangel Raphael. He is the angel of healing. Call on him and ask him to assist you. The other thing is there's a number of guided meditations online that you can do. So go down online, check it out. You may find something that really just resonates and pulls you in, and try that meditation. It may help you as well. But you do have some options. They're just encouraging you to do some energy healing this month, because that's going to help you remember how amazing you are and how you are worthy of having a great love who is on the same page as you. You are also worthy of having those conversations and standing up for yourself. Allow them to assist you with that. Now let's find out a little bit more about this person's situation, a little bit about what's unknown, and the co-create. And then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so we have the Bambino, the La Costanza, and the Morte. Bambino, new beginning. It can also be children, but they're saying it's a new beginning. And then you have constant perseverance, standing firm. You see she's got things that are all knocked up and beat up around her, but she's not budging. She's not budging. She's like, I'm just going to stand here. I don't care about the storm that just came in and wrecked things. I'm going to stand here. Firm. I will not be shaken. And then you have death. Death, abandonment, completing something, detaching from a situation. So yeah, so you've had possible new beginning. You're trying to create a new beginning. You have stood firm and I'm going to make this work. I am not going to give up. They have come back. We are going to make this work. But they're trying to get you to end that. They're trying to get you to let that go. Let them go. And again, it's because they have something better for you. So we have, and this is for what's unknown, the Page of Summer. We have Amore, obviously love. We have the Letterato, and this is the Man of Letters. It's also, you know, discovering something, getting some information on someone's intentions. And then we have Militare, soldier, police, but it's also, you know, strategy. So you know how they brought up a couple of times that the person, their intentions are not pure. Their intentions are not true. They are being dishonest with you. They are hiding some things. They are wearing a mask. They are wearing a false mask. You believe it to be love. You want to communicate your love. You want to move things forward. But you are about to discover something with regards to their intentions that for some of you is going to make you very defensive, aggressive. You see how he's got this like knife at the end of that? Where you just want to go to battle with a person. So for some of you, what is unknown is you are about to receive some information that's going to upset you, that is going to hurt you, because you were thinking, again, you're reminiscing on how things were, not seeing things clearly, not seeing how this person has hurt you in the past, because again, this isn't the first time. Everything's all beat up and dropped down to the ground. So this was trying to have a new beginning with someone where it had already fallen apart and ended. So you thought, okay, we're going to make this work. But you're going to receive some information that will have you going in a different direction. That will be having you put together your strategy, your plan to receive an offer of love, and for some of you to give an offer of love to someone else. But it's going to require, instead of having your back to the future, to others, turning your back on this person's situation. but you're going to get the right motivation because there's going to be some aha, epiphany, discovery that you're going to be receiving some information. Now last, co-create. Yeah. I'm sorry, Leo, but this person is not, they're not good for you. We have the Lanamika, and this is the enemy. This is the woman who acts in secret. She's deceptive. She is lying. She has a mask on. She's holding a knife. She's like ready to jab someone. And she's kind of looking to the past slyly. Like, maybe I'll just, you know, jab them real fast and they won't know. And then I can take off. And then we have misfortune. And this would be like the tower. But this is like complete destruction. Serious. It's huge. I mean, everything has fallen to the ground. There is no reviving it. No bringing it back together. And then we have the widower. And this is a man that is very lonely. He is very sad. He is bound and chained to his past. And again, this is the co-create. In order to create something, in order to create and give birth to children, give birth to a new life, give birth to a new beginning, you have to be on the same page. You have to be on the same page. Both of your intentions have to be pure. You both have to want the same thing. You both have to be focused on each other with unconditional love. You do not have that here. These two are not in a position to co-create. They're not going to be able to because they don't want the same thing. They both have different intentions. Some point, someone's going to fall off that tightrope. You don't want that to be you, Leo. So they're encouraging you this month. They're also saying, love yourself. There's some heart healing that has to be done. There's this exercise that you can do. It's actually really easy, but it's powerful. So what you can do to get back into a state of loving yourself unconditionally, which will help you in knowing that you deserve better than these shenanigans, you have to heal your heart. You have to bring yourself back to loving, first and foremost, yourself unconditionally. Because when you love yourself unconditionally, you set boundaries. You know that you are worthy of so much more. You won't accept anything less than that. But the first step is to healing yourself and loving yourself. So in exercise, our eyes never change color in all of our lifetimes. They stay the same. They are the seat of the soul. So every day, look in the mirror and look directly into your eyes and say, I love you. And say that 3 times in a row. And do it every day. And initially, it's not going to be easy for you. You might laugh, you might joke, you might look away, you might think, Nicole, this is ridiculous. I can't believe you recommended this. I feel so stupid and silly. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. What you'll find, and again, stare directly into your eyeballs in a mirror and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. Once you stop laughing and looking away and thinking Nicole's ridiculous for making you do this, what you're going to find is it's going to start to work. It's going to start healing your heart, helping you start to love yourself again. That's the intent of it. But at that point, it may make you cry. It may make you very sad. It may make your eyes just start leaking. And that's okay. Because that means it's working. And that means you just keep it up. Because then what you're going to find eventually, it's going to get very easy. And you're actually going to look at yourself with some excitement when you say I love you. And you're going to mean it. It will have some meaning. So stick with that. Get yourself back to a state of loving yourselves unconditionally. Be strong this month. You can do this. I mean, you're Leo. You're fire. You are nothing but strength and power. So you do have this. I do wish you all an amazing month. Don't be afraid to do your work. And again, for many of you, go see an energy healer or find some meditations and stuff online to get your healing taken care of so that October can be amazing. You can fall into something fabulous this fall. And I do wish you all the very best. An amazing month filled with a lot of love, joy, and blessings.